Being that I'm not a super fast picker, there's certain songs I never seem to get up to the speed that you hear them played at your local jam. In this video, I'll try to show you what I do when this happens. One such song is the song Limehouse Blues. Limehouse is a Chinese district in London, and the song became popular during the 1920s and 1930s. It was covered by many jazz greats such as Sidney Bechet and Benny Goodman, and it was brought to bluegrass by people like Jethro Burns and Don Reno. Many of the jazz recordings are played in the key of A flat, whereas we will play in the more folksy key of G. The first thing I do with a melody to such songs is to see if I can't find a way to play it as all quarter notes or longer. That will allow me to focus on keeping the pick moving in a downward direction and not worried about getting frantically caught in between down and up strokes. Playing melody notes in this manner, you'll want to just keep an eye out for where there's either a rest or a half note, longer notes. The rest of them will be played one per beat. Playing the melody in this manner, you'll have only two tricky spots to really focus on. The first one is at the end of the C7 measures, where you end up holding three fingers down at the same time and let the pick glide through strings 5, 4, and 3. And the same thing will happen again at the end of the A7 measures, where you bar two notes with finger 1 and your third finger plays string 5. Again, you strike strings 5, 4, and 3. In just a second, we'll play the entire melody for you with a scrolling tab going across the screen. But before we do that, let's take a look at the chords, because playing rhythm to Limehouse Blues can actually be a little bit trickier than playing the melody. I choose to use chord positions where my fingers are covering all the strings that I strum, so that I can release them and get a much snappier sound. So here's a picture of the chord fingerings that I choose to use. Should you just be using open string chords such as a G, that's fine. Just going to have a little more ringing in there. The strum pattern I'm using is to where I'll hit a low sounding bass note. Doesn't have to be a specific bass note, just one of the low strings. And then I do a quick downstroke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes that's called boom chick. This A7 fingering is a common way the jazz players play an A7. If you're not familiar with that, just use your A7 bar chord. Another jazzy chord is this A minor 7 towards the end, and you're playing your second finger on string 6 and your third finger bars strings 4 through 1. That's followed by a C minor bar chord, D7, back to G. If you're having trouble playing up to tempo doing all 4 beats in your strum pattern, well, just drop back to simpler strumming. We'll now play the melody followed by the rhythm, all without stopping at a very brisk 240 beats per minute. If you need to slow it down, use the YouTube features. Dig in and have fun.